This is John Mulaney's drinking story from New in Town. His line is, I used to drink too much and I would black out and I would ruin parties.
Here's a story I once heard about me. I guess I was 20 and I was at a party at someone's house and I'd blacked out drinking, and someone came out of one of the rooms at this party holding like an old antique bottle with some liquid in it. And they said, "Hey, is this whiskey or perfume?" And apparently I grabbed it, drank all of it, and said, "It's perfume." And it was.
This is Tom Segura's overdose story from This Is Not Happening. It's 1997. Tom is a freshman in college and he's back in his hometown for Thanksgiving after his first semester at university. He finds that one of his old high school acquaintances is now a local drug dealer. So Tom buys some ecstasy. He's at a party, takes the ecstasy, and then immediately complains to the dealer that he doesn't feel anything. The dealer says, "It's okay, I have some GHB in the car." GHB, known as the date rape drug, but Segura says that he had been taking it recreationally around this time. So they go out to the car. The GHB is in this cumbersome gallon jug and it's full. Tom tries to take a dainty sip but ends up taking a big gulp because the jug is so heavy and unwieldy, and also because he's drunk and he's on ecstasy. This is very dangerous because you're not supposed to mix GHB with alcohol at all. And Tom's on ecstasy, about 10 alcoholic drinks, and then enough GHB doses for about 5 people. He remembers returning to the bar, being the life of the party for about 2 minutes, and then it's lights out.
All I remember is that I wake up and I'm looking at lights on a ceiling, right? I'm just like, oh shit. Is this heaven? And then I see a woman come into frame, right? Because I'm laying on my back. I can't talk. I can't move my arms. And this woman goes, "Hey, Tom, you are in the emergency room and you overdosed on drugs and now you're coming out of a coma." And I'm just like, well, he goes, "What did you take?" And I go, "I had, I don't know, I took a couple pills." I told him honestly, I had some drinks. And I took, some GHB, probably enough for like a lot of people. And he goes, "What about the heroin?" And I go, "No, I was just joking." And he goes, "No, you have heroin in your system." And I was like, "Really?" And he was like, "Yeah, you have heroin, you have cocaine, you have PCP." He's like, "You also have the same chemicals that are in like cleaners, like some of the super duty cleaners." And I'm like, "What the fuck, man?" And he goes, "Where'd you get your GHB from?" And I go, "One of my buddies from high school." He's like, "Yeah, he's a good friend. He gave you some fucking WD-40 to put in your system." So the nurse tells me, "The doctor that saved you wants to talk to you." And I'm like, "All right." And I asked him, like, how did I survive? And he was like, "Honestly, because you're fat. Like, you're pretty fat." And I was like, "What, man?" And he goes, "I mean, a smaller person would definitely, like a 120-pound person would die halfway through this. This is just one of the only times where it's good to be fat right now." And that's, yeah.
This is Scott Mosier's cocaine story from episode 123 of Smodcast, Mosier's first and only weekend of cocaine. Scott Mosier is typically reserved, low energy, deadpan, funny. The first night of cocaine, he said it was okay. He just felt really amped up and energetic, and that it made him feel like he could drink anything without the alcohol really affecting him. The next night, they're doing lines of coke off the hood of his friend's car. Then they go to a bar, do more lines, go to a strip club, then do more lines. Mosier is dancing energetically with a group of girls, and this is in total contrast to his normal, reserved behavior and his personality. Coked up, Mosier is just a bundle of energy constantly moving around. Eventually, a friend comes up to him and says, "Hey man, we're going to go outside to smoke a joint." Coked up Mosier says, "Fuck yeah." And they go outside. They're out behind the club, and Mosier is taking big hits on this joint, just with the cocaine mentality of more is more, greed is good. He's clueless of what it's going to do to him. They finish the joint, and Mosier goes back into the club. Once inside, he suddenly feels very awkward. He does not want to dance. In fact, he doesn't want to be there at all. So he returns to the car with his stoner friend. But now, Mosier can't speak and his heart is racing and he's thinking, "I'm going to die." Then his friend starts pouring his heart out about some girl. Mosier couldn't care less, but he feigns interest. Suddenly, he feels really thirsty. His mouth is so dry. They're in Vancouver, so it's raining. So Mosier opens the window and rubs his hand on the roof of the car and then licks the moisture off his hand. And he continues to do this for the next 20 minutes. Eventually, Mosier's stoner friend drives them home, but then...
I don't really remember the drive back. I just remember he lived at the end of this one cul-de-sac. And so all I remember is that he drives and then suddenly the car stops and I'm like, oh, thank God. And he's like, oh man. He's like, fuck, dude, wait, come on. He's like, you gotta, this isn't my house.
Was he poking you the whole time he was saying it? Like
He was just like, come on, hey.
It sounds like he was having like an argument with you, like, come on, hey now, hey. This ain't my house.
Stop licking the roof and pay attention, because this is not my house.
Hey.
It's not my house, man.
Hey, tasty roof. We're home.
And I'm like, well, fuck, where are we? And so picture like, this is one cul-de-sac. Here's the other cul-de-sac. So we're parked here, and he lives here. So why he didn't have the idea of just leaving the car there and walking
1 block over
25 feet to his house, but he was like, and then for whatever reason also, he was like, you gotta drive.
He had taken it as far as he could.
He did. He was like, he was over, and for some reason, it was like, no, man, you gotta get us there. It ain't gonna be good. They'll know about all this stuff. And I'm like, and I was like, holy fuck. I get in the car, I get in the driver's seat, and I'm literally like, I've been driving for a few years, and suddenly I'm like, what the fuck is all this stuff?
It's like you imagine the fucking cockpit of an airplane.
I can't land this thing, come on!
So many switches and dials.
So I finally go like, okay, and I'm like, wheel, accelerator, and then like, we start going. It probably took me 20 minutes to drive what would be the equivalent of like 50 yards. Like I was going like, as soon as it started going just slightly too fast, I would slam on the brakes. And it's like 3 or 4 in the morning, so no one's anywhere out there. Nobody's paying any attention. There's just 2 guys like going, put, 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 put. And then I like, so we get,
one's licking the roof.
Yeah, I'm still going like,
the other's licking your balls.
Yeah. I'm like, it helps. It helps me concentrate.
That keeps me focused. That's good. Keep doing that.
Don't touch my dick, though. That's gay. Stick to the nuts.